Bắt đầu với tiếng điện thoại reo rồn rợn, tiếng máy telepe lách cách và tiếng người nói chuyện ồn ào trong một văn phòng. Các ước một giây điệu piano jazz nhảy, căng thẳng vang lên rồi một nhịp trống mạnh mẽ dứt khoát cắt ngang tất cả. The city gambles every breath, a dance between a life and death. I don't play cards, I don't roll dice, I set my own and final price. My office overlooks the street, the bitter and the oh so sweet. Smell of desperation in the air, a silent and a whispered prayer. I am the house, the odds align, a dark and beautiful design. I trade in hope, I trade in fear, the end of every single year. The numbers always add up true for men like them and men like you. I am the tax on their desire, the keeper of a silent fire. They see a horse, they see a man, a simple, foolish, hopeful plan. I see a variable, a flaw, the breaking of a sacred law. And I build my church upon that sand, because the house always wins. A gospel preaching smoke and gin. The math is cold, the truth is deep. For all the promises you couldn't keep, the house always wins. It's understood in this dark and twisted neighborhood. Your honor's just the line I said, the first and last and only bet that I will always, always stay against you. The boxing ring's a vicious stage, a gilded and a bloody cage. The fights are fixed, the fall is planned, the most respected contraband. I know the round, I know the dive, the way a losing man can thrive is just a business clean and fast, a shadow that is built to last. But there's a kid with fire in his soul, who's lost all of his self-control. He fights for something more than pay, he gets in his own goddamn way. He has too much heart, too much pride, with nowhere left for him to hide. He is a problem, not a prize, you see it in his honest eyes. The bosses see a tool, a mule, a necessary breakable rule. I see a number that won't bend, the beginning of a bitter end, an anomaly in my design. Because the house always wins, a gospel preaching smoke and gin. The math is cold, the truth is deep. For all the promises you couldn't keep, the house always wins. It's understood in this dark and twisted neighborhood. Your honor's just a line I said, the first and last and only bet that I will always, always stay against you. I've made a fortune on the fall of every single man who thought he's tall. I built a kingdom on the fact that every single solemn pact is made of glass and made to break for their own damn and bloody sake. But this kid's honor, if it was real, the kind of wound that will not heal, a variable I can't erase in this godforsaken awful place. Against you, the odds are set, the bets are in. Let the real and final sin begin. His name is Daddy-O, young and fast, shot from a different path, not of the street, but of the gym of him sung in the inner, between the round, between the bell, the story that the city tell is that he's real, rising star. No matter who the hell you are, you feel the hope in his advance, a final death, a fleeting glance of something that you thought was dead. The word your own damn father said about all honor, pride, and standing tall before the long and bitter fall. I take them under my own wing, the chaos that his choices bring is a beautiful and damn mistake, for my own damn and bitter sake. I try to teach him how to play. He is a kid with a glass jaw. He fights against the higher law. He's got the heart but not the chin, for the world that he is living in. The kid with the glass jaw, a burning light that's way too beautiful and bright. He'll be a king for one short day, and then the house will make him pay the final price for his own truth. The bosses love him, love the show. They watch the easy money grow. They build him up a hero's tale, a story that will never fail, to bring the suckers to the gate, to seal their own and simple fate. The final fight is set and sold, a story that is getting old. He's meant to fall in the 5th round without a single goddamn sound of protest, just a graceful die, the way a losing man can thrive. I give him the order, cold and clear, the source of all his doubt and fear. I see the question in his eye, the first of all a coming lie. He asked me, Jules, is this the game? I have to whisper out his name. It is, kid, is the only one. He is the kid with a glass jaw. He fights against the higher law. He's got the heart but not the chin, for the world that he is living in. The kid with the glass jaw, a burning light that's way too beautiful and bright. He'll be a king for one short day, and then the house will make him pay the final price for his own truth. He looks at me and says no more. I don't know what I'm fighting for, if every single fight's a lie beneath this cold and empty sky. Tonight I fight for something real, the only thing I've ever felt. I'm fighting for myself, and in that moment I can see the man I never got to be. The glass last straw said, the choice is made, the sharpest and the final blade is honor. Is honor. Thick with smoke and shout, the sum of all their hopes and doubt. The bell rings for the final round, the most unholy, sacred sound. The fifth round where he's meant to fall, to answer to the final call. But then he comes out fast and strong, where everything has gone so wrong. For the bosses and their perfect plan, he's fighting like a different man. He doesn't dive, he doesn't sway, he washes all the lies away. With a left hook, a right hand cross, he's made himself his own damn boss. I see the panic in their eyes, the crumbling of their alibi. The math is wrong, the odds are broke, the final bit of whisper joke is on him. He is the fifth round ghost, the one who stayed the promise that was not betrayed. He fights for something more than pay at the ending of the day. The fifth round ghost, a final stand in this dirty and corrupted land. He chose his honor over gold, a story that will not be told in any book, on any page. He wins the fight a clean KO, the only truth he'll ever know. The crowd erupts a joyful sound on this forbidden, hallowed ground. He raises his hands, he feels the great, a smile upon his weary face. He proved him wrong, he beat the house, as quiet as a frightening mouse. The bosses slip into the night, beneath the pale and buzzing light. They've lost their money, lost their faith, in this godforsaken awful place. And honor has a price, you see, a different kind of penalty. I try to get to him to warn on this forgotten bloody morn, but it's too late, the choice is made, the final bloody price be paid. He is the fifth round ghost, the one who stayed the promise that was not betrayed. He fights for something more than pay at the ending of this bloody day. The fifth round ghost, a final stand in this dirty and corrupted land. He chose his honor over gold, a story that will not be told in any book, on any page. corner him in the locker room. His victory becomes his tomb. No guns, no knives, just fists of stone. The only sin he's ever known was to believe that he could win. The place the real rot must begin. He fought for something pure and bright, and so they extinguished his own light. A ghost is gone. The round is over. The city's just a little colder, and it's my fault. Found and break a day. They wash the evidence away. The papers call it a dispute, the bitter and the twisted fruit of a gambler's debt, a drunken brawl. They do not know the truth at all, but I know I was standing there in the cold and unforgiving air of my own making, my own hell, a story that I cannot tell. I go back to my office dim on a dark and self-destructive whim. I open up my private book, the one that no one gets to look. Is not for horses or for fight. Though all these long and lonely nights, I've locked the weakness of each man, my own and love, broken. Life of pure and utter waste. A politician's secret son, the race has only just begun. The rival boss's shaky hand in this dirty and corrupted land. I have their secrets, everyone, beneath the cold and absent sun. I never used them for a war. The thing was fight and die for. I use them just to sit among these false and petty gods. But Danny's blood has changed the game. I'll whisper every single name. This is the broken old. Was I not say damn betrothed to loyalty, to family, a perfect blood deal, and more broken doors. Myself is blamed for every single mess they made. I know their sins, I know their price. I never have to ask them twice, and now I use the air to fall. The house always wins, that was my creed. Harvest biggest one I haven't won yet. On all of them to fall, the book is open, the ink is red, for the living and the honored dead. First chord I make is small, start the cracking of the wall. To a reporter young and keen, who wants to know what's in between the lines the papers print each day. I give him just enough to play, a simple hint, a single name, starting of a little flame. As Captain Donahue I say about the dawning of the day. His daughter's college gets its funds. The race for power never runs on honesty, it runs on fear. The end is getting very near. It's not a bomb, it's not a blade. The best attack is a crusade. A whisper's doubts and half-said truths, the bitter anger of their youth. I'm collecting on a whisper, the deepest and the deadliest, a dead upon a long since past, a shadow that is built to last. A whisper's interest, a slow decay, to wash their dirty world away. I am the rumor and the doubt, the thing they cannot live without, and the thing that's gonna tear them down. The second calls to arrival Peru, the loyal and the trusted few. I tell them where a shipment lies beneath the cold and empty skies. A truck that's meant for my own boss, a calculated simple loss. For him a victory, for them a perfect little stratagem. I'm not just breaking them apart, I'm playing with a work of art. I'm turning allies into foes, the way a poison ivy grows. The city is a chessboard now, a silent and a sacred vow I made to a boy I let die. I'm collecting on a whisper's interest, the deepest and the deadliest, a dead upon a long since past, a shadow that is built to last. A whisper's interest, a slow decay, to wash their dirty world away. I am the rumor and the doubt, the thing they cannot live without, and the thing that's gonna tear them down. They're looking for a gangster's war, the thing they've always seen before. They're looking for the guns and knives, the currency of broken lives. They are not looking for the man who has a more effective plan. the score, who's knocking on their office door with nothing but a telephone. The whisper flies, the interest grows, the way the cold, this winter snow before the avalanche. Empire's built on brutal, and now it's turning up. He's looking for a man with a gun, a race he's already outrun by me. And the house begins to fall, a story that is getting old. The foundation's cracked, the pill has been slow and agonizing end. The house begins to fold. The dead is called. The men who once stood proud and tall are looking for a place to hide with all their foolish time and pride. As the whispers tear the world apart, as the whispers tear their world. Captains one by one, beneath the cold and absent sun. He questions them with eyes of steel. The only thing they think is real. But I have planted seeds of doubt, the thing they cannot live without. The captain with the gambling debt, the biggest one he's ever met. He thinks the boss has found him out. He starts to scream and starts to shout. The captain with the secrets on his own and private races run. I'm not attacking them, you see, I've made them their own enemy. The house is eating its own heart just as I planned it from the start. A beautiful and damn machine, the most effective unseen scene. And the house begins to fall. Foundations cracked, the pill has been slow and agonizing end. The house begins to fall. The dead is called. The men who once stood proud and tall are looking for a place to hide all their foolish damn pride. As the whispers tear their world apart. He built a fortress made of fear. The end is getting very near, but the walls were never made of stone. Upon his cold and brutal throne, they were made of secrets and of lies. The fear behind his captain's eyes. And I'm just pulling on the threads, the company of all their dredging, watching him come undone. The house is folding, card by card. The final and the losing yard. Checkmate. They come to me, the man of mine, the dying earth. A seed of vengeance he can sow. He cannot fight a quiet thought, the lessons that are dearly taught. He cannot fight the mass. I am the anomaly, the glitch, the ghost, the one that they will fear the most, the number that does not compute, the bitter and the twisted root, the anomaly, the final flaw that breaks your own and sacred law. You build a system based on greed, and I'm the last and final seed of something that you can't control. He wants a body, wants a name to put an end to this damn game. I feed him theories, feed him lies, the fear behind 1,000 eyes. It's a new crew from out of state, the master of their own damn fate. It's the old guard you put to bed, the rising of the walking dead. I send him chasing after ghosts, the most unwelcome deadly host. While I sit here and pull the strings, the chaos that my knowledge brings. He's fighting shadows on the wall, the architects of his own fall. And I am the one who draws the lines. I am the anomaly, the glitch, the ghost, the one that they will fear the most, the number that does not stop you, the bitter and the twisted rule, the anomaly, the final flaw that breaks your own and sacred law. You build a system based on greed, and I'm the last and final seed of something that you can't control. My power is that they don't know which way the seeds of chaos grow. My power is that they can't see the true and final enemy. I'm not a person in their book, the last place that they'd ever look. I'm just a house, I am the odds among these false and petty gods. And the house is taking back its due. The anomaly, the final bet, the one they haven't figured out yet. Me. I go back to the bottom call to answer to the final call. The ring is empty, dark and still upon this cold and lonely hill. The smell of sweat and cheap cigar, the memory of 1,000 scars. I stand right where he fell and died, with all my foolish damn pride. Safe and sound on this forbidden, hallowed ground. I did this for him, for his name, this viciousness, this brutal game. But he is gone, he doesn't know the way the seeds of vengeance grow into weeds. And now I stand in the empty ring, the most pathetic, lonely king. I won the war for a dead boy's soul and lost all of my self-control. The empty ring, the final call for every single thing I've lost. The silence here is my reward, the final and the sharpest sword that cuts away the man I was. I trace the stains upon the mat on this terrain so cruel and flat. Is this his blood or is it mine? A dark and entwined design. I hear the echo of the crowd, a boisterous and a laughing shroud. I hear the bell, a final chime, the ending of a better time. This place was holy in a way at the ending of a weary day. It had a code, it had a truth, the bitter anger of my youth. Found solace here and found a grace in this unforgiving, brutal place. And I have burned it to the ground, and now I stand in the empty ring, the most pathetic, lonely king. I won a war for a dead boy's soul and lost all of my self-control. The empty ring, the final cost for every single thing I've lost. The silence here is my reward, the final and the sharpest sword that cuts away the man I was. My victory is just a ghost, the one that I will fear the most. It is a victory of ash, a quick and unforgiving flash. I didn't save his memory, I just made everyone like me a little colder, a little more dead, for all the bitter words I've said. The empty ring, the final bell, the private, the personal hell. My trophy, my trophy, my trophy.
The boss, he comes to me in life, a shadow from a different past. He's broken, beaten, and alone upon his cold and dying throne. He doesn't come with guns or rage to turn a final bloody page. He comes in silence in the grave, with nothing left to say or play. He said down in my office chair, with a coat of mist and his stare. It was you, Jules, he says hello, the only one that ever did. From rounders and the names of shit, the dots inside each captain's head. I do not bend. This is the final bitter end. I just look at him and nod my head for the living and the honored dead. I'm cashing out my final bet, the only thing I haven't won yet. To look at the morning day, I made him pay. I'm cashing out, the truth is told, a story that is new and old. You killed a boy, you had more heart than your whole damn corrupted heart. And that's the debt you can't repay. He doesn't argue, doesn't fight, beneath the pale and buzzing light. He just looks down at his old hands
pieces would have broken him in two. The only thing I ever knew was how to break him first. You see, the only damn philosophy I didn't hate him. I was proud, but I can't say that name out loud. I did what I was taught to do, the same damn thing as men like you. I'm cashing out my final bet. The only thing I ever won, yeah, to look him in the eye and say the reason that I made him pay. I'm cashing out. The truth is told, a story that is new and old. You killed a boy who had more heart than your whole damn corrupted art. And as the day will pray, and in that moment I can see the broken man in front of me. It's just a different side of the same coin, the place where all the rivers join. He is a monster, so am I, beneath this cold and empty sky. My vengeance isn't clean or pure, it's just another sickness with no cure, and we are both diseased. I'm cashing out. He understands. The city's fate is in my hands, and I don't want it. I leave him there, the cold and love, forgiving air, a mild opposite, the truth behind a million lies. The war is over, I have won, and all is said and all is done. I didn't do it with a blade, for the stupid bloody mess they made. I did it with a whisper's breath, a slow and calculated death, often built on shifting sand, the most respected contraband. The Bookie's paid his final debt, and forgets is what he's ever met. He won the house, he won the game by whispering his own damn name. The phones are silent now and still upon this cold and lonely hill. The teletype has gone to sleep for all the promises to keep are broken now, and the house is closed. The game is done. The long and lonely race is run. The book is burned. The odds are gone. Just waiting for a different dawn. The house is closed. The bets are paid. The final silent serenade. The book is gone. He's disappeared. The one thing that they always feared was just a man, and it was right
of all of us, and the house is closed, and the game is done. The game is done. The long and lonely race is run. The book is done. The odds are gone. Just waiting for a different dawn. The house is closed. The bets are paid. A final silent serenade. The boogie's gone. He's disappeared. The one thing that they always did was just a math, and it was right. The house always wins. That's what I said. For the living and the undead, but I was wrong. The house can lose if it's the ending that you choose. I didn't win, I just cashed out and left them with their fear and doubt. The greatest victory of all is being the one to make the final call and walk away. Ooh. The house is closed. Solitary shout is silence. Just silence. Just silence. The war is over, so they say, at the ending of a weary day. The old bus gone, the house is broke. A final bitter whispered joke. The city breathes a different air, a brand new kind of cheap despair. The power vacuums deep and wide, with nowhere left for them to hide. The small-time crooks, the hungry wolves, the deep and unforgiving goals. Between the factions start to grow. The seeds of chaos that I sowed have bloomed into 1,000 weeds. The sum of all my bitter deeds. I wanted justice, wanted peace, a temporary sweet release. I didn't burn one kingdom down. I shattered every single crown in this forgotten, brutal town. And now the wolves are coming round. And now I walk through a city of ghosts, the most unwelcome, deadly host. The ghost of Danny, young and proud, a face I see in every crowd. A city of ghosts, the ghost of him, on a dark and self-destructive whim. The king I broke, the man I knew, sold them sharp abyss. I thought that breaking them would be a kind of perfect victory, but chaos doesn't have a king. The chaos that the currents bring, it just consumes, it just devours through all the long and lonely hours. The innocent are caught between the most horrific, brutal scene. The honest shopkeepers and the poor, who always have to pay for war. My vengeance wasn't clean or smart. It tore the city's soul apart. And now I walk through a city of ghosts, the most unwelcome, deadly host. The ghost of Daddy, young and proud, a face I see in every crowd. A city of ghosts, the ghost of him, on a dark and self-destructive whim. The king I broke, the man I knew, and the ghost of my own self. It's true. The bookie who believed in math. I had a scalpel in my hand, the sharpest in this broken land, and I use it like a goddamn club in every single dirty pub and backroom dealing hazy dream. I damn the unforgiving stream, and now the levee's finally broke. The final bitter whispered joke is on me. A city of ghosts, and I'm their king. The chaos that the currents bring is my own crown. Before my ledger's line, the dark and intricate design, not of their sins, but of my own, upon this cold and brutal throne. One devil with a heart of gold, a story that is getting old. One broken king who lost his way at the ending of a weary day. A dozen captains dead or gone, waiting for a different dawn. 100 lives caught in the fire, a funeral pyre of my desire. The math is simple, stark and clear, the source of all my doubt and fear. The cost of one boy's honest name was setting this whole world to flame. Was it a fair trade? Was it right? A pale and unforgiving light to burn the village to save a child. A calculation grim and wild.
This is the devil's remedy, a cruel and a final trick. Yeah, the souls you count the cost of everything you won and lost. The devil's arithmetic, a final sum for all the years that are to come. The ledger's balanced in the red with all the living and the dead, and my own name is on the lost side. I thought that I could play the god on this forgotten bloody side. I thought that I could set the price. You only have to ask me twice. But there's a math you can't control, the taking of a human soul. It doesn't balance, doesn't square in the cold and unforgiving air. Each life's a world, a universe, a blessing and a final curse. And I have snuffed them out like flames by whispering their secret names. I am the house that always wins, but my own losses now begin to add up to a sum too great, a dark and unforgiving fate. This is the devil's arithmetic, a cruel and a final trick. You add the souls, you count the cost of everything you won and lost. The devil's arithmetic, a final sum for all the years that are to come. The ledger's balanced in the red with all the living and the dead, and my own name is on the lost side. Danny's life was worth it all before the long and bitter fall. That's a lie I have to tell myself, left on a dusty, lonely shelf. But the numbers scream they do not lie beneath this cold and empty sky. The price of one good man's last stand was the soul of this entire land and mine. The math is done, the answer's found on this unholy killing ground. It wasn't worth it.
There's a new power in the town, a brand new temporary crown. A crew from out of state, they say, who come to make the city pay. They do not know my name or face in this godforsaken, awful place. They only know the house is broke, a final bitter whispered joke. They see a vacuum, see a prize with hungry and ambitious eyes. They're moving and they're taking hold, a story that is getting old. The cycle starts all over new. The only thing I know is true. But this time there's no Bookie here to whisper secrets in their ear. There's no one left to keep
the score to even up the silent war. There's only wolves. This is a bookie's funeral, a quiet end for my one and only trusted friend. The man I was, the man of math, on a cold and unforgiving path. A bookie's funeral, the final bet, the only one I haven't lost yet. I'm betting on a different game by whispering a different name, my own, to the only one who hears. I walk into the empty ring, the chaos that the currents bring. I know they'll come for me tonight beneath the pale and buzzing light. The last loose and the final threat. The rumors that have widely spread that I was the one who knew it all, the architect of the great fall. I do not run, I do not hide with all my foolish damn pride torn to pieces on the floor. I don't know what I'm living for, so maybe this is for the best, a final unforgiving test. This is a bookie's funeral, a quiet end for my one and only trusted friend. The man I was, the man of math, on a cold and unforgiving path. A bookie's funeral, the final bet, the only one I haven't lost yet. I'm betting on a different game by whispering a different name, my own, to the only one who hears. Let them come, let them see the final broken part of me. Let them have their victory, a final bloody eulogy. I did it for a boy's last breath, and in his honor I'll meet death with open eyes and with no fear. The end is getting very near, and for the first time it feels right. It's sin. They find me where he fell and died with nowhere left for me to hide. The new crew with their hungry eyes, they cheapen their authentic lives. They have their gun, they have their might on this dark and unforgiving night. They think I am the final prize, the end of all their compromise. But as they raise it, guns to aim to end this stupid, bloody game, the doors fly open from the past, a shadow that is built to last. The room erupts in smoke and sound on this unholy killing ground. I do not move, I do not run. My long and lonely race is run. This is the chaos that I made, a final bloody serenade. The seeds of doubt I sowed so deep, for all the promises to keep have bloomed into a field of graves. The furious and unforgiving waves. I am the storm, I am the cause of breaking of all ancient laws, and I just watch it all unfold. A story that is getting old. Spark, it doesn't hurt, it just feels cold. A story that will not be told. I fall right where he fell and died, with all my foolish damn pride. The final balance paid in red for the living and the honor dead. It's finally a zero sum. Set up is a doom, and never change the doom. The wars are over, peace is here. The source of all their hope and fear is gone. The legend and the myth, the one you should not trifle with. They say you boogie sharp and sly, and made the entire city die and be reborn in a single night. He did it for a fighter's soul, and lost all of his self-control. He burned the temple to the ground, a sad and solitary sound. That's the story that they tell in this new and cleaner hell. They make a hero of my sin, the place the next rod must begin. And now I am the boogie's ghost, the one that they will fear the most. A whisper in the betting line, a dark and beautiful design. Unforgiving trust that the house will They say I died there in the rain, the chaos that the currents bring. A hero's death, a final stand, the savior of this broken. They make a saint of my own rage and turn a new and cleaner page. But I know the truth so cold and deep, the promises I couldn't keep. I didn't die a hero's death, with a noble and a final breath. I died for nothing in the grave, at the ending of a weary day, a casualty of my own war, the thing not worth the fighting for. And now I am the Bookie's ghost, the one that they will fear the most, a whisper in the betting line, a dark and beautiful design. The Bookie's ghost, a final prayer, a poison on the city air that says that even in the dust there's one last unforgiving trust, that the house will always pay its debt. So place your bets and roll the dice. You only get to live here twice, once as a fool and once as a king. The chaos that the currents bring. I was the house, I was the fool, a necessary breakable rule. And now I'm just the final cause for every single bet that's lost and every single one that's won. The final lie, was it his will, or was it mine? The house is closed for good.